Hello students, welcome to all in the social science class once again. Dear students, in previous module we have studied about the roadways. Today in this module we are going to discuss about railways, pipelines and waterways. So let's first discuss about railways. Railways are the principal mode of transportation. So railways are meant for two things, that is one carry freight, that is goods, and other one carries passengers. Now with the addition of this IRCTC, which stand for Indian Railway Catering or Tourism and online ticketing operation of Indian Railways. So with the addition of this branch, railways are now conducting activities like business, sightseeing, pilgrimage, along with transportation of goods over longer distances. So the country's first railway was built by the Great Indian Peninsular Railway, which was opened in 1853 between Bombay and Thane, with more than 150 years of history. The Indian Railways have been a great integrating force for India. I mean, on one hand, it binds the economic life of the country. You know, every day railways generated so much of revenue through travelling, ticketing and all that things, and on the other hand, it has actually helped these things and accelerating the development of industries and agriculture. All the heavy and bulky goods are transported through railways because it is cost effective as well as the transportation service within the country. Dear students, do you know the Indian Railway is the largest public sector undertaking in the country. The first train steamed off from Mumbai to Thane in 1853 and covered a distance of 34 km. Dear students, the Indian Railways is now reorganized into 16 zones. Try to find out the current railway zones and their headquarters. So, dear students, if you look at the distribution pattern of the railway network in a country, it is largely influenced by three factors. They are physiographic, which means the terrain and the topography of the particular place, whether that region is hilly or rough or it has lot of jungles, etc. Dear students, if we talk about the physiographic factors, then we can say that in our country, the northern plain is favorable for the growth of railway network because here we have very vast land and which is leveled. Except this, in this region, high density of population is there. As you know that northern plain is very fertile. So, this region is also rich in agricultural production. So in this region, railways has developed successfully. On the other hand, the hilly terrain and peninsular region have uneven topography. So such regions are not suitable for construction of railways due to high relief, sparse or you can say less population and lack of resources. Similarly, if we talk about the sandy plain of western Rajasthan, swamps of Gujarat, forest tract of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand are also known favorable for the development of railways. And the second one is economic factor, which means whether the place has enough industries or whether the place is rich in natural resources that can be transported. Because if we see the railways earn the major income from freight services, that is transporting goods rather than passengers. So economic factor is very important for the railways. And the last one is administrative factors. So when we say administrative factor, we are talking about the political and the management aspect of the Indian Railways. Because railway is such a huge organization, there are so many manpower involved, step processes. So all these things need to be efficiently managed. Unavailability of these factors can cause cuts to railways, or you can say loss to railways. So there should be a proper planning of operational work to make the Indian railways run smoothly. Therefore, all these factors are very essential, so keep them in mind. Dear students, let's now discuss about the problems that are faced by Indian railways. Today, the railway has become very important for our national economy, but still rail transport is suffering from many problems. Problems like many passengers travel without tickets, so that causes a huge loss to the railways. And then there are thefts and damaging of railway properties. So then people pull the chain unnecessarily. So that causes a lot of timing, and time is money for the railways. So delay here because of many heavy damage to the railways. So our railways never manage to reach in the time, and automatically there is a great loss to the Indian railways. So this is all about the Indian railways. It's time to read about pipelines. So dear students, let's discuss about the pipeline transport. So pipeline is a very new transport network to India. In earlier time, pipelines were used to transport water from water box to the cities, villages and industries. But if you see, the things has changed. Now it is used for transporting crude oil, petroleum products and natural gas. From oil and natural gas fields to refineries, fertilizer factories and big thermal power plants. So this particular transport network is very expensive, because you are going to need such a long chain in a pipelines, which is very expensive considering the material that is used, because these are some special insulated pipelines. You can see here there are some special insulated pipes. These pipelines will carry flammable or explosive materials such as natural gas or oil, and there is always a safety concerns associated with it. Therefore, these pipes are made up of special material, and this is very expensive. However, on the flip side, when the pipeline is laid, the subsequent running cost is very less. All we need to do just pump oil or gas. That's it. And you stand at receiving and collect it. One more thing I want to say here, we can also transport the solid through pipelines after converting these into slurry, or you can say liquid form. Oil refineries like Baruni, Mathura, Panipat and gas-based fertilizer plants could be possible only because of pipelines. So currently in India, there are three important networks of pipeline transportation in a country. So the first one is, there is a pipeline from the oil field of Assam to Kanpur, which is in Uttar Pradesh. So it passes through Guwahati, Baruni and Allahabad. It has also branches from Baruni to Haldia via Rajband to Morigam and Guwahati to Siliguri. So this pipeline is somewhere 1167 km long. Just imagine the length. Therefore, you can imagine the cost associated with it. And the second pipeline is from Salaya in Gujarat to Jalandhar in Punjab via Viramgam, Mathura, Delhi and Sonipat. It has also branches to connect Koyali, Chakshu and other places. Again, this one is 1250 km long pipeline, and it supplies crude oil. And the third one is gas pipeline from Hazira in Gujarat that connects Jagdishpur in Uttar Pradesh via Vijaypur in Madhya Pradesh. It has also branches to Kota in Rajasthan, Shahjahanpur, Babrala and other places in UP. This pipeline has been constructed by Gas Authority of India Limited, which is GAIL, G-A-I-L. This pipeline only transports gas. Again, it is 1750 km long, and the gas that is transported is supplied to fertilizer plants. Dear students, let's now discuss about the waterways. India was one of the seafaring countries, meaning most of the traveling from India to other countries were done through seaways. So being a peninsular, that is the advantage. So it has thus help in carrying and spreading Indian commerce and culture to other nations. Now, waterways are the cheapest means of transport and they are most suitable for carrying heavy and bulky goods. It is fuel efficient and environment friendly mode of transport. There is an estimation that container ships emits roughly 40 times less carbon dioxide than large aircrafts. Of course, 3 times lesser than large trucks. So ships are energy efficient. However, the shipping industry faces its fresh air problems with large amounts of polluting fuels being pumped into the seas by container ships. So, India has an inland navigation waterways of 14,500 km in length. So, inland navigation waterways are all those ferries and small ships that moves on rivers within the state or sometime one state to another. And then we also have navigable mechanized boats. So due to so much of economical activities going on the waterways has been declared as national waterways by the government and there is a good amount of revenue that comes to the government from inland navigation. Some of the national waterways are the Ganga River between Allahabad and Haldia with length of 1620 km, that is also referred to as National Waterways number 1, and National Waterways number 2 is on Brahmaputra River between Sadia and Dhubri with a length of 891 km, and then we have National Waterway number 3 that is on the West Coast Canal in Kerala with a length of 205 km. National Waterways number 4 includes specified stretches of Godavari and Krishna rivers with a length of 1078 km. National Waterway number 5 includes the specified stretches of river Brahmani along with Matai river and delta channels of Mahanadi with a length of 588 km. If you notice, these are some big rivers, therefore there will be some sort of water navigation that will be carried out and that will in turn generate revenue, and any activity that generates revenue the government regulates that. And the next topic is major seaports. Now India has a coastline of around 7516.6 km and then we have 12 major and 200 medium and minor ports, and 95% of India's foreign trade is handled through these seaports. So I'll just show you all the seaports of India in a map. Just have a look on it. So what is the purpose of seaports? It handles the exports and imports of industrial and agricultural goods. The first seaport that is developed after independence in India was the Kandla seaport, that is in Kutch, Gujarat. But it does not mean that we did not have seaports before independence. We did, but it was totally under the British control. Some of the major seaports before the independence that were under British control, the Mumbai port, the Chennai port and the West Bengal seaport. The Kandla seaport was specifically developed to ease the volume of trade on the Mumbai port. So most of the goods that goes to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan and Gujarat, they all gets delivered and picked up from the Kandla seaport. Now Mumbai is the biggest seaport with a lot of space and natural well sheltered harbour, and then we have another major seaport with the name of Marmagao port in Goa. This port is used to export iron ore from the country to different parts of the world. And similarly we have another seaport is used to export iron ore from India to other parts of the world. Now Kochi is the extreme southwestern port that is located at the entrance of its lagoon with a natural harbour. Now lagoon is a shallow body of water separated from a larger body of water by barrier islands or coral reef. It's look very ideal for establishment of any seaport. Now coming to the eastern side, the extreme southeastern side, there is a port which is named as Tuticorin, which is in Tamil Nadu. Now this particular seaport is used for delivering cargoes to neighboring countries like Sri Lanka and Maldives. And then Chennai. Chennai is one of the oldest artificial ports and it handles similar volume of trade and cargo just like the Mumbai one. In Andhra Pradesh, the deepest landlocked port is located. It is well protected port. This port was well developed to export the iron ore. And then we have in Odisha, which is named as Paradip. Iron ore is exported through this port. And then Kolkata is an inland riverine port. It is a tidal port and Haldia port is developed as a subsidiary port to reduce the growing pressure on the Kolkata port. So like this we have many ports in India. So dear students, today we have discussed about railways, pipeline transport, waterways and major seaports. In next module we will discuss about airways, communication, international trade and tourism. Thank you. Stay blessed and stay happy.